and I knew that my son would feel like he was at home, away from home.
I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private and independent schools to bring you insights into school programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administration. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
So my process for choosing childcare started about 8 years ago when I was looking for a daycare, essentially for my son who was almost 2 years old. I hadn't done too much research, I'll be honest, and I hadn't really asked any friends or family for any places. I just knew that I had certain must-haves. So one being location, it had to be between home and my workplace. The physical space was really important to me. Like the indoor space, what I was looking for was clean, bright, spacious, and organized. I was also looking at the outdoor space as well. I wanted a big space for my child to be able to play. I needed it to be safe, so needed it to be enclosed and far from a major street. I was also looking for an environment that was nurturing, and I knew that my son would feel like he was at home, away from home. Um, I had gone to about a handful of places before I went to Curlew Montessori, where I had a tour with Rihanna, the director and the owner of the school. It was a lengthy tour. During this tour, I had all my must-haves met, but also realized there were a lot of other things that the school had to offer me. I was introduced to the Montessori method, and I instantly fell in love with it. So I knew this was the place that I was going to send my son. And about 3 or 4 years later, this was also the place I ended up sending my daughter as well. Both my children adjusted very well while they were at Curlew. They felt safe and they felt nurtured in the environment that they were in. They liked their teachers and they adjusted well to the routines of the classroom. During their careers there, they thrived in many aspects of their lives, socially, emotionally, and academically. And while they both have graduated from there, they continue to do well in their new schools. And I think it is because of the time they spent at Curlew and being exposed to the Montessori methods. And like I said, just feeling safe and nurtured while growing up has helped them to continue to be confident and do well in their schools. I asked my daughter, who's currently in grade 1 and graduated last year from Curlew, what she valued most about her time there. And what she said is, I'll quote her, is, "Mummy, I felt like I was challenged while I was going to Curlew. They made me do hard work, even though I didn't need to know all that work. I knew how to do division when I was 6 years old, and I really didn't have to know division." So those were her words exactly. So she enjoyed the challenge while she was there. As a parent, what I most appreciated about the school was the ability of the teachers and the Montessori methods they were using to maximize my children's abilities. Like I said in my previous answer, my daughter was doing division when she was in the equivalent of senior kindergarten, which is unheard of. But they maximize their abilities in all aspects of their growth. So whether it be personal care, whether it be academically, whether it was the ability for the children to care for others, my children were doing things at a very young age that I had no idea they were capable of. So that taught me to really respect the methods, the way they were executed at Curlew, and it really opened up my eyes to what children are truly capable of. So I was really thankful to be part of that and to witness that and to have my children experience that. I might sound like a broken record because my answer is going to be the same as it was for the last two answers. But what truly surprised me about Curlew again was the success of the Montessori method and how well it was executed and what that meant for the success of my children. So I specifically remember going to my first Watch Me Work session. And this is an opportunity for the parent to go into the classroom and observe their children for about half an hour, pick and choose certain activities that they would normally do during their independent work and watch them do this. So this was the first session. My son was probably about 2.5 years old at the time, and the first activity I saw him do involved him unrolling a mat, obtaining probably about a handful of items in an orderly fashion, performing the activity he had to perform, put the items back once again in an orderly fashion, and then very meticulously roll up this mat in just a perfect fashion and put it away. And this was my son at 2.5 years old, and this was not the boy that I knew at home, right? Who just played, made the mess, and didn't clean it up. Yet he was doing this at school. So my jaw had dropped, and I was at that point a very firm believer in the Montessori method. But again, how well it was being executed at Curlew, and how much my son actually enjoyed doing it, which was a very important piece in this as well. So it just caught me by surprise. I believe that the values at Curlew Montessori are to maximize children's abilities and maximize their independence, instill pride and confidence in themselves and in the work that they do, and also to teach students to become respectful members of their community. I think there's many ways that they enforce that. I think in terms of instilling confidence and pride in the work, I think they do that by having what's called a self-paced environment, right? Where students get to choose their own work, the only activity that they get to do in the presence of their teachers. So they get to practice their activities, they get to learn from their mistakes, but they also get feedback from their teachers on how to improve the activity, right? And they get ample time to practice that activity in this self-paced environment, which results in progress, which results in them learning, and as a result, feeling good about themselves, right? And maximizing their abilities. I think the way that they teach children about the community and becoming and being respectful of their community is one. Montessori classes are composed of mixed ages. So you get younger children, older children together. The older children have an opportunity to help the younger children in a lot of different things, which makes them really feel good. Additionally, their students learn about different cultures, celebrate different holidays. So you learn about the larger community around them, right? And it really teaches them to respect diversity, especially living in Canada. So I think it's fantastic. The majority, if not all, the parents at Curlew Montessori have enrolled their children there because they share the same values as the school does. And as a result of that, we've created a very tight knit community. Despite us all being different in our own unique way, despite us, there being many different cultures, it being very diverse, again, um, the bond that we have is the values, and as a result, I feel like all parents get along really well. And I myself have formed some really good friendships with parents from both when my son was going to school and when my daughter went to the school. Um, Furthermore, parents are always looking to make play dates. There are always get-togethers. And that creates a lot of opportunity for the children to even um, strengthen the relationships that they have with their peers, which is wonderful. So, what I remember my children really enjoying and really being fond of participating in was these special learning opportunities that happened every year. And the two that stand out for me are the life cycle of a butterfly and the life cycle of a chick. So both my children got to experience that while they were there, and they just absolutely loved every minute of it and could not stop talking about it. And every time I dropped them off or picked them up from school, they wanted me to see um, the cocoon or the butterfly or the egg that was cracking, and they were just so happy to be part of it and so happy to learn so much from it. So definitely some great opportunities that are created at Curlin that my children really enjoyed. So, our experience as a family with the teachers was very good. My children really like their teachers and have fond memories of them. I also had a great working relationship with both the teachers and with Rihanna, the director and the owner of the school. We had regular meetings. So I would get updates about the children. If there was anything I needed to reach out to them about, I could just reach out to them by email or even during drop off or pickup. They were really approachable and willing to discuss things. And anytime there were any issues that came up, I felt very comfortable approaching teachers, like I said, or the director and working with them to be able to come to a mutually agreed upon resolution. So, no concerns there. So, the top three reasons I think you should send your children to Curlew Montessori are one, because of the Montessori method that is taught there and how well it's executed. It really sets up children to be lifelong learners, which is really important for their ongoing success. Second reason is because children are really well cared for while they're there. It is a nurturing environment, um, and they feel safe and connected with their peers and with their teachers. And lastly, I think it's because of the physical space. They have a great indoor space. It's clean. It's bright. It's very well organized, and the outdoor play space is great as well. The advice I would give to parents searching for a new school for their child would be to think about your family's values and to look for a school with the same values. I think that's such a crucial piece for many reasons. I would also make a list of your must-haves, which you'll take with you on your tour. And I really believe in touring many places because you'll realize that there you might have some new must-haves, or maybe some must-haves aren't as important as others, right? So it's like almost like house shopping. When you're going from house to house, you realize how important certain things are, and maybe not so important as that other things may be as well. And then last but not least, I think a parent's intuition is so important. So your gut feeling about a school, I think, says a lot as well.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.